Hello there, this is David from David Books and Comics, and this is a continuation of the book haul. So, what do we have? So, here's another one. This is a big, thick tome. It's called A Fire on the Deep, Upon the Deep by Werner Ving. This one was well read. That's that one. And this is an old library book, another James Tiptree short story compilation anthology called Warm Worlds and Otherwise by James Tiptree Jr. And now I believe that's a woman. See if she has anything that's revealed in the copyright. Anyway, it's an introduction by Robert Silverberg. Okay, that's that one. And speaking of Robert Silverberg, there's this D407 Ace Double and Poole Anderson, Reclaim These Stars, The Planet Killers. Interesting cover. Let's look and see. 1959, Reclaim These Stars. Copyright 1959 by Ace Books. Okay. The Planet Killers. And this is Red Mars by Kim Stanley Robinson. Part of that Mars series that he wrote. All right. Put that there. There. J.G. Ballard. Crystal World. There's that one. Primal Scream, Michael Slade. More Michael Slade, Hangman. These look like thriller novels. Not what I'm into. And a couple more Michael Slades. There's Cutthroat and Ripper. All right, put that aside. Grab this stack. And Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. There's, gotta keep that one. This is The Demolished Man by Alfred Bester. It's a signet. That's a keeper. Samuel R. Delaney, Sphere Book, The Einstein Intersection. Okay, interesting cover. And I don't know if this is the one that used to be mine. This is the Chrysalids. Yeah, 1955, John Wyndham. It's a reading copy, Seen Better Days. Frederick Pohl. The Gateway. Eddie Van Vo, The Players of Nole. And two of the Foundation books, old library books. This is Foundation and Empire, and this is the first Foundation. And if I remember, that was a major scene. KSP. That's the monk. Raised up his arm, and lo and behold, he had these initials on his wrist. Never forgot that. It's kind of a suspenseful story, investigation type story, I remember. I enjoyed that story. This is like a compilation, what they call a fix-up novel, based on stories that were all hung into one. Stories have different timelines. They span generations. The story of the Foundation is quite the story, and there's the mule figures prominently in the Foundation and Empire. All right, so that's that. Put that aside. And the Amber series, Roger Zelazny. There's that. Another Michael Slade. Evil Eye. And I love these covers by Avon. This is Headhunter, Michael Slade. Love these Avon covers. A kind of mix of futuristic SF. There's the cards, done by the kind of a court jester magician, Dworkin, I think it is. Amber. All roads lead to Amber. I think this is the third book. The first 5 books are the best in the Amber series. And here's a couple of Michael Slades. This is the Evil Eye, and this is Ghoul. All right. There is the Courts of Chaos. Remember, there's the pattern. The pattern is something that they have to walk. I think the Courts of Chaos. I don't know. I don't remember, but it's the cosmic pattern that sustains the world of Amber lies in shreds. Yeah. Reality itself is on the verge of disintegration, and Corwin, heroic madman and crown prince of the perfect realm, must face shape-shifting assassins, an alluring woman, in the multi-dimensional terrors of shadow, in his pulse-pacing quest to save the kingdom. And it could be the 5th in the book, in the series. First 5 are the best. This is the Hand of Oberon. Oberon being the father of the 9 princes and princesses. King Oberon, there you go, has vanished. Okay, so that's the Roger Zelazny's Amber series. Great series. And here's a novel by William Tenn. Boris Vallejo did that. And more James Tiptree goodness. And Up the Walls of the World. Mankind consisted of 128 people, hardly noticed by the super aliens that had taken over Earth. Okay. So that's Of Men and Monsters, a novel by William Penn. Okay, so we'll put that aside. Another of the Dark Tower series, and this is Stephen King. Oh, C.L. Moore. Well, how's that? C.L. Moore, the creator of Girel of Jouary. Jouil, a beautiful Amazon heiress to the ruling galaxy, risks the destruction of the universe to outwit the arrogant masculinity of the man who could be her lover or her killer. Interesting. So that's Judgment Night. And we have another ace double, D335. Complete and Unabridged, Threshold of Eternity by John Brunner. And what's on the back? Poul Anderson's The War of Two Worlds. Earth must choose the Martians or the monsters. How's that for a title? Okay. Oh, that's a beautiful cover. C.L. Moore, first time in paperback. And what do we got? Oh, it's too bad. Now, my cousin has a lot of these white circles. And these wonderfully bound. This is by Agatha Christie. It's a ratty text block is destroyed. So much for the story. Most of the story is intact, except for the beginning parts. Okay. Usually these are really nicely bound. This is White Circle 365. Look for the Woman. The Hollow by Agatha Christie. So this is Double Star by Robert E. Heinlein. And this is The Voyaging by George R.R. Martin. Science fiction. Interstellar Trails. Sound reads like space opera. Don't know. Oh, this one's intact. There's another white circle. This is 313, Rosamund Marshall, Duchess Hotspur. Looks like a photo cover. These are always nicely bound, these white circles. This is intact, this one. See? You can see part of the stitching. It's a Canadian paperback. That's that. Colin's White Circle. And there's the beautiful Frazetta cover. Robert E. Howard. Conan, #1. It's a damaged book. Yeah, some are Howard and DeCamp. Howard and Carter. So God in the Bowl, Rogues in the House, famous, and Tower of the Elephant are famous Robert E. Howard Conan stories. All right, so that's that. I think I'm going to keep this one. This is Who. August Budrys. Who. This is a pyramid book, G339. Nice cover. Amazing story of a scientist who knew the world's most frightening secret. Interesting. I think this is a keeper. There's Andre Norton. Sargasso of Space. And there's Guns of Avalon, another Amber novel. Move that aside. This is Second Foundation. And there's the mule again, who disrupts the whole flow of the universe. And this is Color of Evil. It's kind of horror novels, or horror short stories by different writers. The Second Foundation was found at the end of the galaxy. And anyway, find out where that is. This is Rogue Moon by August Budrys. Another James Tiptree, Out of the Everywhere and Extraordinary Visions. Other Extraordinary Visions. There you go. C.L. Moore. Band of desperate rebels attempt the destruction of technological tyranny. Book is Doomsday Morning. Terrifying novel of one of science fiction's most commanding creators. All right. And we have Asimov, Isaac Asimov, in Nightfall and Other Stories. Fawcett's. And a discarded library book. Samuel R. Delaney, Nebula Award Best SF Novel. Babel 17. And this one, oh my gosh, look at that cover. H.G. Wells, When the Sleeper Wakes. Graham was a young man when he was overcome by strange deep sleep. When he awakened, 200 years had gone by. The odd thing was that Graham was just as useful as when he'd gone into this strange trance. The world that Graham woke up in was full of startling new inventions, of breathtaking advanced technology, and it all belonged to one man. It belonged to Graham. H.G. Wells, When the Sleeper Wakes. Okay, this is a keeper. This is an ace book, Ace SF. Okay. By Babel 17. New weapon of the invaders, Babel 17, a menacing hum clogging up the Alliance space communications. Looks like space opera. And the weapon shops of Isher. Okay. That's famous. Stephen Andrews always talks about this one. A. Van Vogt, and the writer in particular. So that's Weapon Shops of Isher. This is Frederick Pohl, Beyond the Blue Event Horizon. And This is kind of a fantasy by the Canadian writer W.P. Kinsella, Shoeless Joe, based on the Chicago Black Sox. Used to be called the Chicago White Sox when they threw the game. There was the legendary and great Shoeless Joe Jackson. You can. It was filmed. Yeah, it was made into a film called Field of Dreams. And anyway, I remember reading it, and it reads like a fantasy. It's a bit like, it reminds me a little bit about The Natural by Bernard Malamud. Similar, because it takes baseball and creates a whole mythos around one particular character, Shoeless Joe Jackson. If you want to know more, a little bit more about Shoeless Joe, just watch the movie 8 Men Out. Really well done, well directed film called 8 Men Out. And you'll get a sense of the history of the Chicago Black Sox when they threw the World Series. And it gets into why they threw the World Series. Anyway, so that's Shoeless Joe by the great W.P. Kinsella. There's Homunculus by James Blaylock. Oh, this is a keeper. This is Herman Melville's Moby Dick. And this is the Bantam Classic. That's a keeper. And this is Brian Aldiss, Heliconia Rising. So that's that one. Wow, okay. This is Image of the Beast by Philip Jose Farmer. His underground classic of erotic horror. So that's that one. This is Eon by Greg Bear. So put these aside. Another Roger Zelazny. I love the cover. This is The Doors of His Face and the Lamps of His Mouth and Other Stories. I want to look at sea. I love some of Zelazny's stories. He is a gifted writer. See. A Rose for Ecclesiastes. The Monster and the Maiden. The Man Who Loved Fioli. And my favorite of all of the Zelazny stories is For a Breath I Tarry. He's a great imaginative writer. Here's Frederick Pohl, Hichi Rendezvous. Interesting. And Kate Wilhelm, Where late the sweet birds sang. And here's another copy of this one, Out of Everywhere and Other Extraordinary Visions, James Tiptree Jr. All right, so that's that one. And I've had this book for years with this cover, but at different versions. Mine was, this one's a Bantam too. Mine was a Bantam. The Illustrated Man, which I've shown an earlier version of it. An anthology of short stories. And there's Zelazny's Damnation Alley. It was made into a film with, I forget his name. See if it tells us. Yeah, it wasn't John Michael Vincent. What I remember, it wasn't that great a film. Oh, that's from 1969. Copyright. This is the Berkeley Medallion version from the movie. It's similar. The vehicle that the guy John Michael Vincent drove was this one. I remember seeing it on big screen when it first came out years ago. Even then, I wasn't that impressed with the film. This is Theodore Sturgeon, More Than Human. And there's still more to show of my cousin's books, but this is Rogue Queen. I remember seeing the Ace. This is the Signet edition. I remember seeing the Ace cover edition of this. Copyright 1951. First printing November 1972. So this is the first Signet. Well, I can tell. It's interesting. I'd like to. I'll Sprague de Camp. I'm not that discerning a book critic to be dismissive of any writer. This is Ruins, an X-Files novel. Kevin J. Anderson wrote a lot of the Star Wars, the Jedi Academy trilogy. And another version of Who. This is the Del Rey version by Algis Budrys. His arm had been replaced by a claw-like device, less than human. Okay. I think I like the other cover. All right, so that's this batch. There's another little batch. It includes a few hardcovers, so I'll show those at a later date. So thanks everyone for watching, and I feel honored for some of the comments by people from other channels on what I've presented. So thanks everyone for those comments. And as always, feel free to continue with excellent comments. And thumbs up for like. And again, as always, thanks everyone for watching. Okay, bye.